it's really nice to have this inspiration when you feel that you are just a small person and you cannot do anything. And I strongly disagree on that. And if anything that I learned during my youth work is that one person really can make a huge change.
As you know, Europe is much more than just metropolises, and everything would look like quite one-sided without the forest and lakes and villages, and that is what makes every region special.
The most precious thing in my area is nature. Forests, mountains, and of course Gatska River, one of the cleanest and most beautiful river in the world. We live in a small town surrounded by villages, and we have all advantages provided by city, but also the rural area.
Even the small villages that are really close to each other, they have different cultures. It's really important that we approach to local communities individually, as we approach to any human being.
Many people in rural areas are feeling disconnected. On this project, using the example of 3 countries, Croatia, Germany, and Poland, we are going to get to know the situation of the local people, experience the perspective on Europe, diversity, and regional identity. We are just going to ask us a question: what can make their habitat more livable?
Let me introduce you to my fairly unknown town in central Croatia, Glina, located just 70 kilometers away from capital city Zagreb. It is a town surrounded by many villages, of which some are hard to reach, a place where old demographic dominates and many are less financially fortunate. And on 29th of December 2020, a devastating earthquake of 6.4 magnitude on Richter scale hit, with epicenter in neighboring town Petrinja. This earthquake shattered most building structures, took away people's homes, safety, and most tragically, lives. We, as a community, want our message to be heard on international level and not forgotten shortly after.
We are hit by the earthquake and it's bad, cause of a collapse. Banja is on the border with Bosnia, and just across there you have a largest migrant camp in the Europe. It's insane in which conditions these people live. And nobody cares. Let's do something. Something needs to be done. On the local level, it's very dangerous. I have had my share of contact with the mayors and stuff like that, and that it's very hard.
The hardest thing, it's always when you put your heart and soul in something and it's not working. And it's usually not working because of authorities and, and government and politics.
I was born in Russia, but I grew up in the United States, and we moved as refugees to the United States. And now I find myself in Berlin. Living in Berlin has many advantages. I do enjoy quite the intercultural feel of the city. That's Berlin, and that's my new life, and I do enjoy it.
During this lockdown, our government started to push in some laws that are unpopular. They didn't expect it, I think, but people started to go on the streets. And it was really, really big chaos, and nothing changed, unfortunately.
Looking at the video, I was definitely surprised by the number of the people. It was massive. Young women who definitely want to have more say, and they definitely should have more say in issues like that. And unfortunately, I think that's not the case.
They're talking like God doesn't love you anymore. In the childhood, they learned us that God loves everyone. And if you're okay with yourself, God is okay with you. They're like implementing God into things like this, because you're not a God and you don't know what's happening, so you can't judge.
Life is important until it's born. just this decision by itself is like really, really difficult. And if then the woman has got also difficulties to get this abortion, it's like so unfair.
I'm basically from Pakistan, a small city, not that small, 2.4 million people, but a small city from Croatia. I live now in Berlin. I mean, it's a different place. It's a different ground, different country, different culture from where I am. And Berlin has also given me a very different identity. You are stuck between two identities, but at the same time, it gives you the beauty of, if you are not in one, you are in the other one, so you can enjoy both of them.
Our biggest problem is emigration. Young people don't see a perspective in a small town and go to the bigger cities or go to live somewhere in Europe. Before the war, there were 6 or 7 factories in Otto, but after the war they stopped working and unemployment became a big problem.
Da. Herefore, I want to represent you a film which I did about water in my region.
Voda je elementarna snaga prirode. Jedini element koji je dio svega u prirodi. Čini krug iz mora u oblake, iz oblaka u rijeke, iz rijeke u čovjeka, iz čovjeka opet u rijeku, more, oblake.
People generally don't understand what youth work is. First of all, we had to have a promotion of occupation and explain to people why youth work is important in local communities. And once when they realize that, we have to find that one very motivated person. Sometimes it's really hard to work in something when you don't see instant results. You have to say and include them into the solution. Why my motto is do your job, you take care of young people and be patient somehow, somewhere, maybe not in the way you expected, but your results of your work will be seen. How to engage young people in rural youth is to be interested, to reach out to young people, to talk with them, to try to understand what they need, listen what the young people have to say and include them into the solution.
I think that youth organizations are a major drive of change. Young people organizations and young people can do so much good change in the world if they want.
This is, when you're feeling like you're bumping your head on the wall and nothing is changes. But every time you bump your head in the wall, there's a small crack.
If you have an opportunity to participate in something, participate in it. If you have opportunity to do a bit more extra work to get something, just do it. The time will pass fast, and when you look back at your life, you want it to be meaningful, want it to be full. So just try and participate in as much stuff as you can.